In an attempt to bring Merlot wine back to Americans, Blacksburg is introduced to the documentary Merlove.
The filmmaker himself grew up in Sonoma, lives in Sonoma, and he is not a winemaker or even in the wine industry, but he's just a filmmaker. And so he saw all this happen and decided to make a documentary to extol the virtues not just of Merlot, but to kind of document how this whole cultural phenomenon happened, how hilarious it is, and a irony of the entire cultural phenomena, which I won't give away the ending of. I'll save that for the film. When I've told people about the film here in Virginia, a lot of people said, I don't remember hearing anything about Merlot getting unpopular, and it really is one of those things that it was just the group of people, the segment of society that saw that Sideways film, which is mostly urban, elite, and educated folks. And so it may not have had a biggest impact further afield from California, but it certainly did hit California pretty hard, and people could not sell their Merlot grapes. And that the variety took it on the chin, and for good reason, by the way. A lot of it was overproduced and not well done, mediocre wine. So there was serious cutbacks in production of Merlot, and that was actually kind of good because it flushed out a lot of the folks who were producing bulk Merlot of not great quality because no one was buying their product. So it kind of purged the market, and only the folks making really quality Merlots survived. And there is still a lot of quality Merlot out there on the market, and it is starting to rebound now. And a lot more people are getting into wine. Consumption's going through the roof. Production's going through the roof. We are becoming a wine society. And what that means, and what they try to exude in the film, is a lot more people are getting into wine now, and they're starting to try to understand it and work their way around it and embrace it, and it's really awesome on a variety of fronts. And what the film is trying to teach you, and what I try to teach in class too, is there is no right way. I try to demystify it because there is no right grape, there is no right wine. It's really up to the individual. What do you like? And Americans, again, have been trained to be a little, not afraid, but what's the word I'm thinking of? Intimidated. Americans are intimidated by wine. You go into the wine store and there's all these labels and all this stuff and they don't get it. And so they want to be told what's right. And all these wine writers and wine critics and people who rate wines like, this is the best wine, and this is the best wine, this is good. And the whole point of the film is that Merlot and Sideways was mocked because it was terrible. And what this movie is trying to say, and what I try to teach, is it's up to you. If you like Merlot, then that's the wine for you. If you like Cabernet Sauvignon, then that's the wine for you. You need to experiment. Get out there and try different styles from different places and different grapes, because there's a wine for everybody out there. Oh, that's what it's I was, one of the tools I use for my class is called Wine Library TV, with a host, Gary Vaynerchuk. And he is a wine, I guess kind of a wine writer, but he's all video. And he just rates wine and speaks very openly about wine, and really honest about wine, and he's kind of an educator, but not on purpose. So he rates wines and describes wines to you, and so I actually use that for my class material. I say, hey, you guys should watch this guy because he's down to earth about wine. That's what we all want. And Gary Vaynerchuk had the director-producer Rudy McLean on his show online, on Wine Library TV, and I saw it. I just happened to see it, and I'm like, what the hell is that? That sounds like an interesting film, after watching him in an interview, much like this interview. And I saw it online and watched it, and I got intrigued. I ordered the movie off Amazon and watched it, and so I wrote him a note and said, hey dude, I saw you on Wine Library TV, and I got your movie, and it kicked ass, and I thought it was great, and kudos, cheers. And he wrote back immediately, because he's into the social networking. And he wrote back immediately, he's like, oh, thanks so much, and we just got a dialogue started. I'm like, yeah, well, you should. How many people have you shown this movie to? And he's like, well, it's an independent film. I've just shown it at some small film premieres, as independent stuff and film. What do you call it? Get-togethers. And I said, well, have you done it on a college campus yet? You should come here. And he's like, okay, let's do it. Well, one of the reasons I tried to get Rudy to come here and successfully have is that we are actually a departure from the typical American way. We are a small town, but we're a college town. And so we are a very educated town, a very, I won't say elitist, but a refined population. And actually, Blacksburg, Virginia has a hell ton of wine drinkers in it. I mean, everybody in this town drinks wine, all the locals, all the professors, all the professionals, and many of the students. If you're interested in wine, certainly, You should come see this because we are going to have wines sold by the glass. We're going to be drinking Merlot by the glass. All the funds, all the dollars, it's going to be kind of like a cash bar. And we'll have 3 different styles of Merlot and 3 different price ranges. So a cheaper Merlot, a medium grade, and a refined Merlot for the connoisseurs that come. So if you like Merlot and you're into wine, you should come just for that, and all the proceeds go to cover cost and to the filmmaker. This is not a for-profit thing. And so if you're into wine, you should come, but also I think if you're into independent film, this is a guy, the reason I was impressed with him is he just did it himself. And I love that. I mean, that's what's exciting about today's world, is a guy just has an idea, and with no prior background except in film, I think he took film in college, he said, I'm just going to make a movie about this. He wasn't into wine, he's just about the topic. He produced it himself. He's now producing other shorts. And so I'm impressed with people that are go-getters. So anybody who's an up-and-coming filmmaker, into film, into wine, and interested maybe in just American pop culture, because that's what the film is really all about. I mean,
Tickets for the screening are on sale now at the Lyric, the Cellar, and other locations throughout Blacksburg. For the NRV Hub, Jenna Nichols, Blacksburg.